Hey everybody. I wanted to kind of clue you in on our new unit. And the unit 3 is Do We Need Words to Communicate Well? This unit is going to have text analysis, rhyme and rhythm. So we're talking about poetry. We're going to have um, developing insight, determination. Taking a look on page, if you would just be on page 301 with me, take a look at what you see there. We have a lot of, um, I'm going to change this. I don't like the way that this is doing me right now. Okay, let's get it where it's a little bit better, like this. Maybe it's too, where it's sitting. Let's try this. How's that? Is that better? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Um, Messing with this while we're recording. All right. So one of the things about this is look at the hieroglyphics that are on the page. You can see that we're in a Middle Eastern country most likely, and there's somebody that's walking through. And if you look at those pictures that are on the wall, they're more like they're the hieroglyphics is what they are. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. Hieroglyphics. And each one of those tells a story. And so when we start talking about do we need words to communicate, I want you to think about how we interact with other people. We shake our head from side to side. What does that mean? Or up and down. What does that mean? Waving, we shrug our shoulders a little bit maybe. There's a lot of different ways that we can communicate. Stop. Come on. So we don't have to use words. And so what I want you to do, I want you to think about exploring the big question. And if you turn to 302, we're going to talk about the vocabulary that we're going to encounter. We're going to talk about how we look at this question. And so start thinking about the big question by identifying various ways that we communicate. List those ways that people share thoughts and feelings. Describe examples of communicating information in different situations. Think about how do you thank someone for a gift? Or how do you ask for something that you want or you need? How do you change someone's mind? How do you persuade someone to change his or her mind? How about sharing an important wish or dream? Listening to a friend share a difficult problem. That's always hard. A lot of times we want to offer help, and sometimes all they need us to do is just to actually listen. And so if we can just sit and listen to what they're saying, they might be able to figure out the solution all on their own without you having to offer any kind of advice at all. They just need those ears to hear that problem. So I want you to think about that. And it says share an idea with a partner. So talk to a sister, brother, aunt, uncle, mom, dad. But talk about this question that's coming up in literature. How do we communicate and how do we do it well? A lot of times we communicate, but it doesn't always mean it's well. For instance, as there's a lot of professors and high school teachers out there that say that kids are starting to use emoji language. Well, that's not going to be acceptable when you're writing a paper. And so if you're communicating well, you're using the written English language. Okay, so you're not a great writer. That doesn't matter. You need to be able to put your thought process onto paper, and it needs to be in a clear and concise manner. In the same way as talking with someone, if you want someone to understand the problems that you're having, you have to be clear and concise. And sometimes we don't always have the words. We have this feeling and we just don't know how to describe it. Those are those instances when communicating is not going to be with words. It can be with It can be with gestures. It can be with writing. It could be with sign language. It could be there all kinds of different ways of being able to communicate what our needs or our problems are. So let's take a look at the vocabulary. Communicate. Communicate is a verb. Share thoughts or feelings, usually in words. Think about that. How else can we communicate? Correspond. Communicate with by letter or agree with. Okay? Quote. Use a speaker or written words. Reveal. Show. Uncover. Symbolize. Stand for. Visual. Able to be seen with the eyes. Those are our vocabulary. So now when we talk about using and acquiring academic vocabulary, these are going to be words that I'm going to be looking for in your writing. I want to see you use these academic vocabulary words in the type of writing and that we're going to do this time. So gather your vocabulary knowledge. Words are listed. We have connection, dialogue, expression, gesture, language, message, nonverbal, share, and verbal. You're going to do the following. You're going to write the definitions of all those words. If you don't know them, look them up. And then use all the words in a brief paragraph that talks about the big question. What is the big question again? Do we need words to communicate well? So this paragraph that you're going to send to me or submit to me should use all of these academic vocabulary words that I just listed off, and it needs to be in a paragraph. You don't need a T-chart. You don't need a draft, but you do need to check for punctuation, spelling, and that you have used all of these words. And there should be no misspelled vocabulary words in this, okay? So that's on page 303. Then we're going to be starting into our close read workshop. And that, this time, is poetry. So I want you to read page 304. And I want you to be thinking about the questions that it says to ask yourself. Ask yourself, who is speaking in this poem? What is the speaker describing? What is the tone of the poem? Ask yourself questions such as, how does the poet's descriptive words appeal to my senses and help me to determine the poet's theme? How does the poet's words choice create an atmosphere or a mood? And finally, how has this work increased my knowledge of a subject, an author, or a theme? What images are the most important to the poem's meaning? So poetry is a pretty big part of this unit, Unit 3. Not only will we be using the poetry that you find in the book, we will be exploring some other types of poetry and music. Music in itself can be poetry. So I want you to be thinking about songs and different things that have a rhyme, have a rhythm, why we like them, why we don't. And think about those things. And then maybe jot down a couple of songs that you really, really like. And then go look up the words and see if you can find the theme. See if you can find the rhyme or the rhythm of that song. And we'll talk more about that later. It'll be part of our final in this Unit 3. So good luck with this. Let me know if you have any questions. Once you have completed the assignment, then finish your close read workshop, and then we're going to go right on into Oranges. Oranges is by Gary Soto, and I want you to read the poem, and then I want you to apply those close read strategies that you found. And remember that a close read doesn't mean you read it one time and then answer the questions. Close read is first time independent, second time get the details, grasp it. Third time is finding the depth of that reading. So plan on that you're going to read it at least 2 times and possibly 3 or 4. Poetry, I find when I do poetry, it takes me more than 3 times, okay, to read it and grasp everything that the author is trying to introduce me to or to tell me what they're what are they communicating to me, and sometimes it's not easy to figure out. So we will start with oranges, and then we will be moving into the close reading activities found on page 311, and then part 2. Part 2 is rhyme and rhythm, and we will read Poetry Collection 1, Poetry Collection 2, Poetry Collection 3, and Poetry Collection 4. This should take us into spring break. And when we get back, we may go over spring break. But we'll see. Okay? So let me know if you have any questions. And good luck, and we'll talk to you soon.